And we're good to go. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen.
Last week, as we all know.
All right. Why is it? Hold on one second. There we go.
Donald Trump secured another 4 years in the White House. But what are the ramifications of a Trump election for blue states like New York, particularly here? So today, to give us his specific take, is New York City Mayor Eric Adams. How do you do?
Thank you. First, I want to say congratulations. I hope my son saw the proposal because I need some grandchildren. He needs to get married. You know?
I don't think that was on camera.
Yo, all joking aside, my boy Smooth, man. And I noticed this when he was doing the first interview with the Breakfast Club a while back. If you take a look at that, he had this, they brought on this, one of these political analysts to kind of grill him. And he was just handing it so smoothly. Like he got Charlemagne over here. He got her over here. He got Envy just saying whatever he says. But this brother Smooth, I'm growing. Every time I see him, it seems like I like him more and more.
Audience. We had a proposal
this morning. It was lovely.
Right. So let's get right
Doug
to
in the building.
Talking about RFK Jr. being the head of HHS. What do you think about that appointment?
The executives will nominate and bring in those who they believe will move their vision forward. And everything from the fluoride issue, I believe we should have fluoride in the water based on what my experts are telling me. But let's be clear, we have a real problem with our food in our country. And we...
All right, so a lot was just done there. I don't know if y'all peeped it. So one of the biggest talking points has been having fluoride, whether it's in the water or even a lot of our products. A lot of us grew up on, if you went to the dentist, when they asked you, hey, do you want us to clean your teeth? We could use this fluoride. Or in our minds, we associated fluoride with being something good. Now, I haven't done the scientific research. Maybe on Wednesday, we'll take a deep dive into fluoride. Now, when I buy toothpaste, and a lot of the health conscious people that I know, when they buy toothpaste, they buy it fluoride free. Now, fluoride, I don't know, like I said, it's not a scientific thing for me, but people that I trust who are healthy, I always believe that it one of the things, it like calcifies your third eye. So that's what a lot of people don't believe in your third eye. Some people do. That's more of a spiritual type of thing. I'm not sure if anybody or if a lot of y'all are tapped into that, but my understanding is that fluoride is not good. Fluoride is not good. And I think that the only reason why they brought up RFK Jr. is because now that RFK Jr. is in this position where he's going to be obviously having an important part on the health, the food, all of these different areas that Trump is appointing him to address, people are going to try anything they can to try to tear him down. Now, let's let the conversation go a little bit longer, because I'm glad that Mayor Eric Adams, he said that the experts, I don't know what experts he's talking to, but he said that his experts said that fluoride should be in the water. But then I like that he transitioned it to be more about the food, because that to me is the biggest issue. While Joy Behar, she said it on a couple shows before, that this fluoride, they're always trying to call RFK loony. And because a lot of us don't know about fluoride, it's easy for her to just throw that out there and us just accept it. But when it comes to the food, there's nobody that lives in America that can look around and see how obese we are, how many diseases that we have, the disease epidemic, all of these different things. We are one of the most unhealthy first world countries in the world. And that is obviously due to the things that we're putting in our body and the exercise that we're doing with our body. So that's clear, but they'll focus on the fluoride aspect of things, but not all these processed and terrible ingredients that are allowed in our country that are outlawed in others. So let's keep going.
We need to watch what we're feeding our children. And
what is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones. Many people know my, I almost lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I would be blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes. And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr.
I'm glad that he said that. And notice how they try to move the conversation along. It is what we're eating. I don't, you know what's so funny to me or so strange to me is that we get all of these diseases. And we like to say, like, even with diabetes, oh, it's hereditary. No, you know what's hereditary? Habits, mindset. discipline. Those things are hereditary. And we like to just act as if, oh, well, that runs in my family. No, it doesn't. Eating fried chicken runs in your family. Not exercising runs in your family. All of these things, these habits that lead to these diseases run in your family, just like they run in a lot of impoverished communities. But people try to act as if we are so, it's like you can only get sick a few different ways, right? Your body can only deteriorate or excel and thrive in a few different ways. It's based on the things we put in our body and what we do with our body.
And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr. RFK Jr. ate some pork and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well,
no, Sonny, you should be in charge of it. You should be in charge of it. This is how it is. So this is why I keep going back to it. This is why Trump won. Trump was able to see that the American people actually align with a lot of the things that RFK Jr. is pushing for, a lot of the things that he's interested in. They are so disconnected in their own bubble that they don't even get it. So when she's taking little pop shots at RFK Jr., acting as if he's not intelligent enough to run something that he's been fixated on his entire, well, I'm not going to say his entire life, but a lot of his career when it comes to the environment and us living healthy. So things that he's been doing the research on, Trump brought him in 2016 to actually do some studies and uncover a lot of the foul stuff that Fauci was doing. So for her to say these things, they're always trying to disregard people. And before RFK Jr. can get the information out so we can process it and make a decision on our own, they want to already cause certain bias to where we're doubting the things that he's saying. The same thing that a lot of people, matter of fact, going back to the election, a lot of this stuff goes back to the election. I remember when RFK Jr. Was running just by himself before he joined Trump's team. A lot of Democrats, people that voted for the Democratic Party, when I spoke to them about RFK Jr., when people that I'm close to spoke to their family members about RFK Jr., especially people within the ages of maybe 50 to 70. A lot of people were saying, oh, he's loony. His family doesn't even like, he's crazy. He does these crazy things. They tried to disregard him because all they were doing was spewing the MSNBC, CNN, forget RFK Jr. talking points, while the people actually were appreciating the things that he was bringing to the table, while the people were actually appreciating what he was doing during 2020 and asking certain questions. But because the older generation is so used to just, oh, the news said it. Oh, the experts on the news, the doctors said it. Because they're so used to just accepting what people on TV and what the so-called experts say, they have a different perspective when they look at these things. Meanwhile, the younger generation is looking at RFK Jr. saying like, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's what we want to uncover. We don't trust the government. We don't just trust what's on the news. So it's just it's a different mindset, and it just shows a certain level of disconnect that I believe not only showed up in the election, but it's showing up here in this conversation with Sonny.
Let's food?
Right, and let's understand it.
RFK Jr. ate some pork and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well,
food?
Right, and let's understand this also. In all of these agencies.
I'm sorry. I got to keep interrupting. But this reminds me of the conversation with the Board of Education. It reminds me of the conversation with the Board of Education. Here you have RFK Jr., who has the courage to actually stand up against a Food and Drug Administration that is clearly toxic, causing a whole bunch of diseases, causing obesity in our country. They're more critical of RFK Jr. than they are critical of the failing Food and Drug Administration. Think about that. They're more critical of him than they are of the actual organization that is causing us all these diseases. And this is exactly what happens with the Board of Education, where, and I'm going to go off on a quick little tangent. Here you have the Board of Education. We just pulled up the mayor of Baltimore, who's talking ish about Trump and saying Kamala's perfect. She ran a perfect campaign, and the kids can't read in your city, and you're getting reelected. And everybody with Project 2025 is saying Trump's going to get rid of the Board of Education. Trump's going to get, and the main people opposing it are you got black people standing up saying like, oh my God, Trump's going to get rid of it. The Board of Education is failing black people the most. It's failing impoverished communities the most. And here you have another person saying we're going to get rid of it, and you're fighting against getting rid of it. You're more critical of them saying we need to get rid of it because it's not working, when it's not working the most for your kids and your community. It makes no sense, but here we are.
There are thousands of employees and experts that understand these topics, and there are rules, there are regulations.
Mayor, a lot of them want to resign. When they see some of the people that are going to be on top, I think there's going to be a mass exodus of people who have the institutional knowledge and the institutional memory in DOD,
Well, I would hope so,
at HHS. Who wants to work under a cook?
And let me respond to that. If we love...
Did you hear what she's just saying? She may be one of the worst people on TV. One of the worst people. Listen to what they're saying. They think we are stupid, or they think they're just so smart. She's saying that, well, what about all these experts that work in this health work in the health part of our government? What about all those experts? Are they going to want to work for RFK Jr.? Dummy. Do you not realize that the health organization in the United States is failing us? It's failing us. We allow certain ingredients in our food that are outlawed in other countries. It is failing us. And now you're worried about the experts that are working for an organization that is failing us being okay with working under RFK Jr. Maybe he needs to light the spark under them that they've been needed, because they haven't been doing their job. They have not been performing. But I guess in this participation trophy culture that we live in, merit doesn't matter. We are literally failing. Our Food and Drug Administration, our health, the health, what is it, HHS? I believe she said, it's failing the American people. And here they are critiquing RFK Jr. and whether or not experts will want to work. Look, you can have a bad expert, right? You can have a bad doctor, right? You can have a bad professor, right? You can have a bad politician. But when it's, I guess when it doesn't align with your agenda and your views, then you just kind of see it a bit skewed. This lady is so delusional. And maybe the country's delusional. Maybe the country is delusional, and maybe this only works in a delusional country that is so unhealthy, that does not take its health serious, that claims that they care about health care, but the only matter that they seem to care about is abortion. Meanwhile, we're walking around obese, unhealthy, minds messed up, taking Ozempic drugs that aren't even meant for weight loss, just to lose. We are screwed up when it comes to the health of our country. But you have people like this, who then you get somebody who's going to actually have the courage to shake things up and to actually make a change. And she's critiquing whether or not the people underneath them want to work for them.
And let me respond to that. If we love our country, then no one individual should take us away from our mission.
Yes.
If you dedicated your life to a particular place,
hold on, I got to stop. What Mark just wrote, I think it goes deeper than failure. You are absolutely right, Mark. You are absolutely right. Seems to me America is under attack. Why are there chemicals in American food that aren't in Canada's food? And this is the problem. A lot of Americans, first and foremost, if we don't travel a lot, I don't travel, but I had the opportunity to live in Canada. The food is totally different. It could be the same Doritos, but it's different. Same ketchup, but it's different. It's different ingredients. But people don't realize that. And I think Americans are just so arrogant to where we think that our ish doesn't stink. We think that we're so above all these other different countries that we don't even realize the areas that we're losing in, whether it's education, whether it's food or anything else. And we are under attack. When you have chemicals that are allowed in our food, from a McDonald's, we go over this example all the time. McDonald's has 3 ingredients in Europe, with salt being optional. Why are there more than 10 ingredients, I believe, or somewhere around there, in the fries in America? These chemicals that are allowed in our food, they are trying, this is in my opinion, so we don't get flagged, YouTube. In my opinion, they are trying to get us sick. Why? Let's think about it. If the most powerful and wealthiest people in the country benefit from us being sick so they can give us medicine under the guise of their big pharma, under their big pharma umbrella, what do you think they would do? What do you think they would do? And this is what bothers me so much. It's like, the same people who will scream out and say the country's against us, white supremacy, America, you know, whatever, America, KKK, spell it with a KK, all this other stuff. People that can't stand America and call out America, when you have a RFK Jr. who's calling out America, calling out the government, calling out them poisoning us, why would you not get behind him? And it's because they look at it as a gang mentality. If you're on the Republican side, everything you say, I have to critique. If you're on the Democrat side, everything you say, I have to critique. This is why Donald Trump won. Look at, you just saw Trump Magus right here, right? Team Trump, the new Avengers. When Trump's walking out, and we should play the video, when he's walking out of Madison Square Garden at John Jones's fight this weekend, and you see the entire team, you see Trump, you see Elon, you see Dana White walking him out. You hear Joe Rogan commentating the fight. You see Tulsi, you see RFK Jr. That is a mixed bag. Trump, to me, isn't even a Republican. He's just Trump. But then he has a bunch of Democrats from, maybe more moderate Democrats, some people that voted Bernie Sanders, like Elon Musk. And I believe actually Elon, Tulsi, and Joe Rogan, I believe, endorsed Bernie. But when you have this group of people that comes together because they're not just with the go along, get along of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, you're able to make sense of things. And that's what the country is looking for. And we saw that when Trump got elected president. Landslide.
Dedicated my life to law enforcement. So if a new commissioner came in that I disagreed with, I was not going to say, I'm going to resign. Let's love the country. Let's love our cities. Let's get away from the rhetoric of the professionalism that we know. Those are experts in this. They're going to look at his proposal, do a real analysis, and make these decisions. It happens every day.
Shouldn't he have a background at least? He should have some kind of background in this type of thing.
Let me just... Yeah. Okay, so Mayor...
Is she dumb? He should have some type of background. He does have a background. He's been studying these things. Where have you been, Joy Behar? Why do you think Trump brought him on 8 years ago in 2016 and demanded that Fauci's team meet with him over the different that things, not just the 2021, but of other ones that are causing us issues, supposedly. She is so lost. He's an environmental attorney. Everything that he's been focused on has been the environment and us living healthier. And she's talking about, but see, this is the thing. A lot of like I said, it's a generational thing. People from her generation, they associate experts with, oh, you have to have a degree. You have to have a degree. You know what's so funny? Real quick story. So I go to the health food store. There's one health food store in Miramar, down when I'm in Florida. And then there's another one in Fairlawn, Natural Way Cafe, and then Miramar Health Food Store, I believe. And the one when my parents and I and Mayan, we came down, we went to Miramar, and the guy was telling us that all the doctors, the surgeons, the people that we trust, right, the experts, they give their patients the pharmacy medicine, the big pharma. And they come into the store and get the natural herbs and minerals to heal themselves. And then maybe a week and a half ago, we went up to the health food store in Fairlawn in Jersey. And the guy was telling us the same thing. And the reason why he opened his store was because his wife was sick, didn't want to go through the whole big pharma chemo route, and she wanted to heal naturally. That's exactly what they did. And they started a store. Now, he was telling me how all the doctors in that area in Bergen County, they come to that store to get their medicine because the medicine is in your kitchen cabinets. The medicine is in your herbs, your minerals. But because Joy Behar comes from a generation where she only sees, oh, you have to, expert means somebody with a tie on that has a piece of paper on their wall that says that they went to this school. They are disconnected, no more disconnected than Sonny Hostin calling white women uneducated because they did not go to school. You're calling people uneducated because they did not go to college. No, they just did not go to college. They just did not go to college. But weird times we're living in.
Here when
it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.